Miss Eyre, your hand is shaking badly. Are you sick? Your face is red too, like cherries. Eh? I am warm, that is all. Am I blushing? How embarrassing. I thought Mr. Rochester would visit us today, but it is already quite late. I really want to hear his voice. You have made much improvement in your drawing, Adele. Well done. So we have finished with classes today? Hooray! Surely he will call for me tonight. I have so many things to say to him. His room has already been repaired by the servants. He told the servants that he fell asleep reading, and that it was he, not I, who put out the fire with the water jug. Grace Poole's name was never mentioned. I guess I am expected to keep that secret as well. What mysterious cause prevents him from accusing her? If she were young and pretty, I would be tempted to think he had tender feelings for her. She was young once, of an age with Mr. Rochester. Perhaps he was attracted to her personality, and that compensated for her appearance. I am not beautiful either, and he seems to like me. I'm afraid you are not well today. You look flushed and feverish. Oh, I am fine. Then you must show it by eating heartily. It is a fair night. Mr. Rochester has had a favourable day for his journey. Journey? Has Mr. Rochester left Thornfield? He set off after breakfast. He has gone to the Lees. There is quite a party assembled there, including Miss Blanche. I expect he will be gone for a week or more. Who is Miss Blanche? Lord Ingram's daughter. She is quite the beauty. Her accomplishments are legendary, for she sings and plays piano most wonderfully. This beautiful and talented lady, why is she not married yet? I wonder that no wealthy man has taken a fancy to her. Mr. Rochester, for instance. Oh, yes, there is a considerable difference in age. Mr. Rochester is nearly 40, and she is but 25. What of that? More unequal matches are made every day. Please tell me more about Miss Blanche. She has noble features with raven hair. No greater fool than Jane Eyre has ever breathed. Who am I? Nothing but a poor governess, while Miss Blanche is worthy of him in every way. It is madness in all women to let a secret love kindle within them. Unreturned, it will devour them. If discovered and responded to, it must lead into a dark wild where there is no escape. Did I truly dream of being a favourite with him, of having the power to please him? Such folly sickens me. It does good to no woman to be flattered by her superior, who cannot possibly intend to marry her. The next day I forced myself to draw 2 pictures, both faithful and true. One of myself in harsh chalks, done without softening a single defect, called Portrait of a Governess, disconnected, poor and plain. The other of Miss Blanche, using lush watercolours to capture every lovely detail, to be called Blanche, an accomplished lady of rank. No snivel, no sentiment, no regret. Whenever, in the future, I imagine Mr. Rochester thinks well of me, I shall take out these 2 pictures and compare them, as a reminder that I am insignificant beside such an elegant lady. Mr. Rochester was absent a fortnight, and I expected him to stay away much longer. I was growing accustomed to his absence when a letter arrived, announcing his return in 3 days' time, and with a large party as well. Every servant in Thornfield was busy with preparations, and more were hired from the nearby village to assist. Adele was excused from school, for I had been pressed into service by Mrs. Fairfax. On the day of Mr. Rochester's return, Adele begged to be allowed to dress up and await the party with us. I hear a carriage. The guests are coming. Miss Ingram is riding with Mr. Rochester. Oh, I must hurry to greet them. So, that lady is Miss Blanche. I wish to meet the beautiful ladies. May I go down now? We must wait until we are summoned by Mr. Rochester, or he will be angry with us. But I want to see their dresses. Be good, Adele. I want to go, Miss Eyre. Let me go. I let Mr. Rochester know how much Adele wished to see the ladies, so he has invited you both to the drawing-room after dinner. He said that from mere politeness. I need not go, I am sure. I told him that you were unused company and might not enjoy the party, and he replied in his quick way, Nonsense! If she resists, I shall come and fetch her myself. I will not give him that trouble. I will go. But I don't like it. Miss Eyre, does this flower suit my dress? Yes, but you think too much of your appearance. Ah, here they come! She really is beautiful. Bonjour, madames. What a love of a child! It is Mr. Rochester's ward, I suppose, the little French girl he was speaking of. Oh, what a little puppet! Mr. Rochester still hasn't arrived. Ah! Greetings, everyone. My apologies for the delay. Not at all. The last time we met, he held my hand and looked into my face with eyes that revealed a heart full and eager to overflow. How close we were. Yet now, how distant, how far estranged we were. He sat with the others. I did not expect him to speak with me. Still, I had the pleasure in simply looking at him, for despite my efforts, I loved him. My master was not handsome by common standards, but he was more than handsome to me, for the power he held over my heart. Most true it is that beauty is in the eye of the gazer. Mr. Rochester, I thought you were not fond of children. I am not. I could not afford it. Then why not send that little doll away to school? Why, I suppose you have a governess for her. I saw a person with her just now. I should think a governess even more expensive than school. You should hear Mamma speak on governesses and their cost. My dear, don't mention governesses. The word makes me nervous. How so? They are incompetent and a nuisance. Not that I suffered much, for I took care to turn the tables and play tricks on them. No more needs to be said. Change the subject. To whatever you like. You'll sing tonight? If you command. I do. Sing, and I shall play for you. Take care. If you don't please me, I will shame you by showing how such things should be done. That is offering a reward as punishment, for I enjoy your singing. I shall now endeavour to fail. If you err wilfully, I shall devise a proper punishment. You should be gentle in your judgment, for one of your frowns would be a sufficient substitute for capital punishment. Ha! Sing! Now is my time to slip away. Mr. Rochester possessed a fine voice, full of feeling and force. His voice travelled from my ear to my heart, awakening powerful emotions. They are such an elegant pair. Indeed, they will make a very good match. Ah, my shoelace. How do you do? I am very well, sir. Why did you not come and speak to me in that room? I did not wish to disturb you, as you seemed engaged. What have you been doing during my absence? Nothing particular. Teaching Adele, as usual. You are paler than before. What is the matter? Nothing at all, sir. Did you take cold that night you almost drowned me? Not the least. Return to the drawing-room. You are deserting too early. I am tired, sir. And a little depressed. What about? Tell me. Nothing, sir. I am not depressed. But I affirm you are. A few more words would bring tears to your eyes. If I had time, and was not in mortal dread of some prating prig of a servant passing, I would know what all this means. Well, tonight I excuse you, but understand that so long as my visitors stay, I expect you to appear in the drawing-room every evening. It is my wish. Don't neglect it. Now go, and send Sophie for Adele. Good night, my... I told you, reader, that I had learned to love Mr. Rochester. I could not unlove him now, merely because I witnessed him courting another lady. Miss Blanche was inferior. She was showy but not genuine. Tenderness and truth were not in her. Mr. Rochester saw these flaws as well, the way she treated Adele with coldness and contempt. But he was going to marry her anyway, for rank or politics, perhaps. If she had managed to charm him, I should have given up my heart and admired her. But he did not love her. So there was nothing to banish my love for him, and much to create despair. One day Mr. Rochester was summoned away on business. During his absence, an old gypsy woman arrived, a fortune-teller, she claimed. The old woman refused to leave until she was allowed to tell the fortunes of all the ladies present. Eventually, curiosity overcame fear. Miss Blanche was the first to hear her destiny. Well, Blanche? What did she say, sister? What did you think? Is she a real fortune-teller? Now then, you are all too eager to believe. She is just an ordinary vagabond who knows a little palmistry. She told me what such people usually tell. Well, should we go? I want to go, but not by myself. Let's go together. From her gloomy expression, I guess that Miss Blanche has not heard anything to her advantage. Despite her claims of indifference, she is certainly upset. Ah! I hear the carriage. Mr. Rochester, he's back. Foolish girl! How could he be in the carriage? He rode his horse when he left, and brought his dog as well. Who prompted you to give false information, Adele? She thinks it is my fault. Seems like she does not like me for who I am. I am just a governess. In that case, I wonder who it could be. Well, do you recognize him, you tiresome little monkey? He claims to be an old friend of Mr. Rochester, a Mr. Mason from the West Indies. Perhaps they met during Mr. Rochester's travels. He is handsome, but there is something dull and weak about him that repels me. She told us such things. She knows all about us. She described all my books and decorations. She knows whom I admire. What, that old woman? She's still here? Miss Eyre? If you please, the gypsy declares that there is another young, single lady who has not been to her yet. She swears she will not go until she has seen all. What shall I tell her? Oh, I will go by all means. Well, do you want your fortune told?